Hi, my name is Cory Chew. I own a company called Bast Insurance Services. I'm a life, health, disability, and long-term care insurance specialist. A specialist means that I know all of these policies inside and out. I know all of these markets. I help individuals and families and businesses up to 100 find the best insurance policies for their needs. I completely do what is best for you in helping you get your needs met in terms of finding the right insurance. Everybody has to buy home insurance, or at least most people who buy a home and get a mortgage have to buy insurance for their home. The chance of using that insurance for a major claim is 1 in 1,200. The chance of using your long-term care policy is roughly 1 in 2. People are surprised to find out that your chances of needing long-term care are actually higher if you're healthier. If you have heart problems or serious medical issues, you are not going to live as long as the people who are going to live to 90 or 100 and start to have aches and pains and need some help around the house or need a facility to help them out. So it's against logic, but it's statistically accurate that your chances of needing long-term care are higher if you live longer. The average age that somebody buys a long-term care policy is 57. The average age that somebody goes on long-term care is 81. A lot of people think, oh my gosh, at 60 or 65, I can't afford a long-term care policy. Well, statistically, a lot of people are buying them at 60 and 65 years old. The way it works is that you buy a benefit for exactly what you want. If you don't think that you want to go into a retirement home, and you especially don't think that you need one with its own golf course or something like that, you just maybe need somebody to come to your house, the long-term policy will be less expensive. But the other thing to remember is that if you were to save this money yourself, you won't get the same returns that you would get with a long-term care policy. The after-tax returns are nowhere near the returns you'll get in just buying a long-term care policy. And one more point I want to add is that couples generally get a 40% discount. So if a man and a wife buy a policy together, they're both insured. They can both use that policy if they both need to. It's not like one or the other, but they get 40% off on the overall price. Another question I get about long-term care is this the premium that the premium's going to be for the rest of my life, or is it going to go up? And the answer to that, of course, always depends on the policy. But I am licensed to sell something called partnership policies. Partnership policies have the most rate guarantees that exist in the state of California, meaning that the insurance company would have to go through the state, they'd have to go through all these hoops to try and raise the premium for people, and they would also have to raise the premium for everybody in the rate class. They couldn't just pick and choose on who to rate. So it's very difficult to raise rates for a partnership policy. And a lot of these companies have been around for decades without raising rates. I can also give statistics on which company has raised its rates and which company hasn't, if somebody wants to see that. A lot of people are confused at how long-term care policies work. A question I get a lot is, what about inflation? If I'm buying protection for $100 a day, well, what's that going to buy me in 20 or 30 years? Well, the answer is, if you're under the age of 65 and you're buying a policy, the inflation rate is factored in. So there's a 5% inflation rate factored in. So you don't have to worry about what that's going to buy you in 20 or 30 years. If you're over the age of 65, that 5% inflation rate is optional. We can choose to add it to the contract if you want, or if you think, hey, I may need this policy in 5 years, I don't want to pay for that extra inflation guarantee, then we won't include it.
A good insurance policy is one of the best things that you can do with your money. You're actually creating an asset. Either you or your loved ones will reap the benefit of that policy, guaranteed. So my advice is, you know you need it, just do it. Don't wait until you no longer qualify for one.